Good morning. My name is Jed Arif. I was born and raised and educated in Mendocino, and I'm here to speak on behalf of Wendy Roberts. I'm the owner of 3 properties in Mendocino, including the McCallum House, which has several Category 1 structures on the property. I believe Wendy Roberts will bring a positive, fresh, experienced, passionate voice that's much needed on the Historical Review Board. And I think I can speak from being someone and a business owner who's been in front of the Historical Review Board more than anyone else in the past 6 years, in that she comes to the meetings and she brings a level-headedness that's much needed on that board. And she's very involved, and she doesn't get involved in that sort of heated attacks that are so prevalent in that back and forth that happens in those meetings. And so to speak to your concern, Kendall, I've seen the elevation that happens in those rooms, and she brings them back down oftentimes to try to get to a resolution. So I just believe she can bring a level of civility to the meetings, but most importantly, I think she believes in preservation, and I've seen that on multiple occasions as well, where we may not always agree, and I know she has the interest of saving the historic fabric of a lot of these buildings in mind. So I urge you to appoint her this time around. I know she was here a couple years ago and got passed by, and I think that it's her time to sit on the board. Thank you, and thanks for leaving the town plan review on the agenda for the afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Ayers. Other members of the public wishing to speak on the 2 applicants' behalf? Okay. Please state your name for the record, please.
Sandra McKeever. I have been a resident of the town of Mendocino. I live just outside of the city limits now, and I have owned, over time, 3 properties in town. I think in years of watching the MHRB and appearing before it, I've never seen an applicant as well qualified for the MHRB board as Wendy Roberts is, and I say that as having a history myself in working with National Historic Preservation properties and in achieving landmark status for the one that I'm most involved in. I'd like to just read again one of the lines in her presentation to you, that reasonable people want thoughtful, fair, impartial decisions that preserve our historic buildings, our sense of community, and the integrity of this process. And I can tell you, as somebody who's been before the MHRB many times and always been treated in an ugly manner, and that's the only way I can describe it, many of us who really wanted to give to our community and really thought that there was something that we could contribute have really sort of given up. I think if Wendy Roberts is passed over this time, you will see a lot of people seriously give up on this community that they wanted so badly to be part of and contribute to. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional members of the audience wishing to speak to this item? Seeing no one step forward, I'll bring this item back to the board for discussion and/or action.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I move the appointment of Ms. Perrell and Ms. Roberts to the Mendocino Historical Review Board.
Second.
There is a motion and a second before us for the appointment of the 2 applicants, Ms. Perrell and Ms. Roberts. Discussion to the motion. Okay, call for the vote. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Passes unanimously. 2 new members of the board of the Mendocino Historical Review Board. Thank you very much for your dedication and your volunteerism. Thank you. Wow. Okay.
We're going to talk about that in a minute. I'll let them do the public comment.
After lunch.
Oh, after lunch.
Yeah. Okay, in an effort to be civilized for once in our timing, is there an objection to taking a lunch recess at this point? I think we're right on time. To the CEO, though, a comment.
Actually, I think item 5, parentheses 2, the consent agenda item that was pulled relating to the appointment to the Air Pollution Control Board, is that still outstanding?
What was that?
I thought that one was pulled on the
Yeah,
appointment.
Supervisor Delbar pulled.
Yes. I've had communication with Chris Brown of the agency, and Chris is willing to wait on that appointment until the 7th when you're in Wawala. He is planning on attending anyway at that session and doing some inspections down there. So I just thought we can clear that before lunch if you'd like. We can defer that appointment pending Supervisor Delbar's request and handle it on the 7th.
Okay, and that was item 5.2, is that correct?
5-2 is what I show here.
5.2. Any objection to continuing that, Supervisor? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, you know, I'm glad that Supervisor Delbar brought that. I kind of overlooked that, but, you know, in this issue, which we were just talking about, the residency issue, you know, I was just under the assumption that these boards' appointments and whatnot, not just that they would all have to be Mendocino County residences. I just, you know, what is the policy? I mean,